That iron ore has now dipped to 145 gold, and I know that they roughly sell between 165 and 170. And what's even crazier is they actually just insta-bought, so I was very happy with this. And because I am only starting off with 10 mil, I decided to list these ones off at 161 coins. Even though it's lesser than what iron ore is normally, I want to just keep getting profits as fast as I can. So moving along now here to the Celestial saplings, I went ahead and bought these guys for 71.6k, and I was able to sell them off for 76.9. We were able to make 219k from them, and we only had to sell 48. So moving on to the next item here, the sandworms, and I was able to catch these guys at 58 coins. This was a dump, but it was a really good one. And even though we listed them at 58, you can actually see here that we got 40k back, meaning we actually got them for less than 58, giving us even more profits in the long run. Taking a look here, we actually got them at 53. Nice. Alright guys, so I've gone ahead and listed the sandworms at 81, but I'm actually really excited for this flip. So we got these ranging potions at what I thought would be 2600, and we caught a dump before the dump even happened. So if we take a look here, even though we listed them at 2600, the lowest sell price was 2000, so we were picking up 615 extra GP per ranging potion. And if you look at the graph on the bottom right here, it actually reflects just that. We were just super lucky, and we were able to buy them at that low price. And with all these items set in stone, I had my iron ore, my sandworms, and my ranging potions. I only had 402k left, so there wasn't much to do except for let these sell. And when I came back from dinner, you know, speaking of dinner guys, have you heard of Eat Fresh? No, just kidding. But when I came back, everything had sold, and everything took under 1 hour to sell too. The ranging potions, we were able to make 1.5 mil, and we were able to buy them up at 2,000 and then sell them for 27.85, which was actually 37% ROI. You probably won't see this again for a while, but well done over here. The iron ores sold off at 160. I did drop the price a little bit, but it's just, again, I want to get money as fast as I can. We still ended up making 208k, and the cool note to take about this item is it only costed 1.8 mil, so this one is for people that are at really low GPs. You know, maybe not gotten your first 10 mil green stack yet. Definitely take a look at iron ore and sandworms and a few of the ones that we're mentioning here. Speaking of sandworms, those ones actually sold off at 81 GP, and we made another 224k profit out of those. And this one actually only costed 700k, and we were still able to make 224k off these. So flipping is really easy in this sort of sense, where you can make so much money and not have to do anything. I mean, I went to eat dinner and I came back and voila, you know, money. And we've now made a total of 2.2 mil, which I want to say is pretty good given that we have such limited cash to work with thus far. Alright guys, so here's the next set of our flips here. We got the Arduin teleports. I don't know how to say it. We were buying them at 403 and we were selling them at 454. I didn't do this for long because, as you can see on the right, I only made 87k. But what's to focus on here is those Irit potions that you'll see later in this video. We were able to grab them up at 852, and their stable regular price is 1105. And after just 3 minutes, guys, of these being listed, they all sold off, making us a 429k profit, and adding that to our total profit there of 2.7 mil. The next item is gonna be a big one, guys. So we got these blighted super restores, and we got a big margin spread. This one is buying at 4,800 and then selling at 5,408. And because the price is so stable in the 5,400s right now, every time I buy these, I'm gonna sell them straight away. And needless to say, I'm really happy with these results, guys, here. So we got these to sell in 9 minutes, well, I guess 10 minutes, making us a total of 404k. I also made my worst flip so far, which was those divine raging potions, and they sold off for a grand 44k. But we're looking very optimistic here now, sitting at 13.1 mil, and once we get over 50, I feel like we could comfortably make between 20 and 30 mil a day. These steel nails, man. Okay, so these steel nails we were able to insta buy at 6 coins, and I got so excited that I just wanted to buy the rest. However, I guess the rest didn't sell. It was just somebody who dumped them in at 6 coins. I guess they hit their desired level or something, and they just dumped them. But anyways, we got them all at 6 coins, and we were able to resell them out for 21 coins, which is like 200k off of like nothing. Like, we spent what, like 80k? So yeah, that one was really crazy. Not too long after that, we were able to buy these chaos runes. It only took 4 minutes, and here we are with chaos runes at 76 coins. Now the average for chaos runes is like 89 to like 93 coins, so this one's gonna be huge because we were able to actually grab 18,000 of them. And well, it only took 1.5 minutes and they were sold, they were gone. We got 216k off of those guys, and this is another one of those really cheap flips. You don't even need 1 mil for this. I know a lot of you guys requested this in my last series to see lower end flips, so here they are, and we finally hit that 4 mil mark. And if you guys are looking for active flips, like flips that flip instantly, look no further, because the blighted super restores are back, and we are buying these guys up at 51.38 and selling them at 54.48, and you'll see in real time here how fast they're buying, but not only buying, but how fast they're selling as well. And every time I get more, I just go ahead and I sell that batch. I mean, if I had the money, I would just buy them all at once and then sell them all at once. However, we're still at a 14 mil cash stack, so you gotta bear with me here. But because these have such high volume, the price is so stable for so long, I'm still able to do this one just slower, and I have to do it in sequences. Alright guys, so we had a lot of sales go through. We bought and sold some silver bars. We didn't make much, so we made 90k off of those ones, but we got more super blighted restores over here, and we were able to sell them at a 54.32, bringing our total now for the blighted super restores at 846k. I think that's actually in second place now to the ranging potions. We did a little bit more of those Celestris saplings and bronze bars, as we mentioned earlier, bringing the bronze bars up to 310k and the Celestris saplings, oh my god, up to 238k, and bringing us to just under 5 mil profit. I was able to get a hold of these gold rings. Now these gold rings were actually on a dump, so we were able to pick these guys up here at 112 gold, which was really good because if you see on the graph to the bottom right there, their average price ranges from 135 to 145 GP. And as you can see, I haven't actually sold them all yet, but we're already making 175k on the gold rings. And about 20 minutes later, we were able to sell off all of the gold rings, making us a total of 276.9k at an average of 29 GP each. And we also added the flip here, the ranging potions. This was actually our best item because right now they keep dipping down to around 23 or 2400, which is a perfect time to buy these guys. And then what you want to do is hold them for roughly 1 or 2 hours, and the price goes back up to 2800 or more, giving us insane profit. And we were actually able to buy all the ranging potions that we wanted, so what I'm going to do now is put these to the side because I know they're not going to go up in price instantly, and I'll have them on the side here to sell at 2800. And I'm not gonna lie to you guys, even for somebody like me that's been flipping for so long, because I decided to hold those ranging potions, I was having a lot of trouble flipping items and making a substantial amount of money. Oh my god, bro, I'm better off getting ashes at the GE? What is this, man? So after getting super frustrated, I decided what is better than just double downing on the ranging potions, you know? I mean, like half of our money stuck there. Why not put 80% of our money there. So I went ahead and I bought another round of ranging potions for 24.25. I was also able to catch a great one here, the rune darts, and these are so good because they only cost 161 coins, so I don't have to spend too much money on them, but meanwhile they're actually going to bring us a lot of profit. And I grabbed a Victoria's chain maze because the price was going down on them, and even though I didn't have much money left, I figured it was better than doing these 40k flips. We got our second round of ranging potions. Now I'm not really sure how to feel about this. I'm really worried for them. I'm really hoping that within the next few hours I can sell these guys, or we're gonna have some really big cash problem. Not too much longer later, we were actually able to sell Victoria's chain maze, and I was really excited for this because now I had a little bit more money to work with, and we actually made 165k. And lo and behold, guys, everything had sold. There's actually nothing better than coming back from dinner and seeing those bright green bars. And for rune darts here, this one was crazy. We were able to make 327k, and the average profit for these ones is 29 GP per unit, which is absolutely nuts on a 161 GP item. But of course, I saved the best for last here, guys. Check this out. We got the ranging potions all out, and we got them at a total of 2.99 mil profit. So while it did take up a big 80% of our bank for a while, I will definitely take that 2 mil plus. Something crazy happened. I didn't find one dump, I didn't find two dumps, but 3 dumps came all at once. So I'm gonna go through them individually, but the anglerfish here, I'm not sure if somebody unloaded their like bot farm of like 30 or 40 or maybe even 50 accounts, because as you can see, the graph tanked. It tanked down over 200 GP, and I was actually so mad at this one because if I had the right cash stack, I would have been able to actually buy like 11k anglers and make 2 mil. The next one here are these dragon balls, and the same thing happened to these guys. The graph just tanks down absolutely to the bottom, and I was the first or second one there, so they all insta bought. And lastly, the chaos runes, they dipped down as well. This wasn't as big of a dip, but funny enough, it was actually the perfect amount for me to buy the max limit. As you can see on the side here, I only had 93k left, so I went ahead and I bought those as well. And here we go, guys. Check this out. Okay, so I just got back from dinner and I got the green bars on every single one of my buys. I must have only been gone like an hour or two, but let's go over the profits now. The anglerfish was around the same thing. We made 214k off those, and we only bought 2100, and the buy limit for this was 10,000. I'm sorry for sounding a little redundant, but I just want to give you guys an idea of how much the profits increase as your bank increases. The chaos runes, another great one by the way for people that are just starting to flip or beginner flippers. We've now flipped these guys for 2 buy limits. As you can see, we've bought 36,000 in total, so you can estimate here that the profits would be between 200 and 250k. And of course, as always, we saved the best for last. Check out these dragon bolts, guys. We made 1.06 mil, so we bought them off at 498 and we sold them off at 595. 1 mil is super huge in terms of profit on a 19 mil cash stack, so I'll definitely take that one in the books. So I've collected all of our money and we're looking super happy here, guys, almost doubling our 10 mil to 20 mil now. And I just want to show you guys something here real quick. If I go ahead and cycle today on my flipping utilities, you'll see that I've made over 4 mil in one day, and I only had a cash stack of 15 mil. So you guys get flipping, guys. This is the best. All right, guys, so this flip here, this is a flip I want everybody to try, and this is how I first got into flipping. So the item is coal, and what you're gonna want to do is take a look at the graph of coal. Now, because coal has such high volume and is always sold, you can see that it bottoms out here at about 152 or 151 gold. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to place an offer at their lowest buy price, and then you're gonna wait for their highest sell price. Now this is just called active flipping. This is one of the easiest ways to flip on the game. And just like I showed you guys in the graphs, we were able to make the exact margins that I explained to you guys. We got these coal at 151, and then we went ahead and sold the coal at 161. Making a total of 116k, and as you can see, it's sold in like 5 or 6 minutes. So if you're doing this every 4 hours and leaving 2 buy-ins worth when you go to sleep, you could actually make 600k doing pretty much nothing daily just on coal alone. Rune darts were again on another dump, which actually just goes to show you that sometimes you can do the same item over and over again, assuming that that dump holds for 4 hours. Because of this, I actually recommend newer people that are in my Discord to check their previous flips before hunting for new ones, because it's a lot easier to do so. I also decided to pick up some silver ore, and this is simply because I have a low cash stack, so any flips that come my way, I'm gonna take them. And just like that, everything was able to sell. Now, if you look at the time here, it did take a while, but if you notice, my cash stack is still actually 18 mil, so it is still worth it to do these guys, and I actually had to go for dinner anyways. So for the silver ore, we were able to make a total now of 325k, and for the rune darts, we were able to make 483k. Alright guys, so this item here, the topaz amulets, are a new item for me. However, I was about to go AFK and I saw that they had a buy price here of 25.70. So I went ahead and put an offer here and noticed that immediately they were not only buying but selling too. I also caught a really good ROI flip. These are the infinity boots here, and we were able to buy these guys at 326k and then sell them off for 479k. And we made 463k here off of just 3 items. So after a little bit, I decided to give up on the diamond rings and sell what we had gotten, which was only around 87k worth, but the topaz amulets were a different story. For these guys, we were able to make a 572k profit over just 2200 topaz amulets at 259 GP profit each. Alright guys, so we're no stranger to blood runes, and here they are again. They've dipped down to 212, so I went ahead and quickly bought 25,000 of those. And while I listed for 215, I guess the dump went further and I got 210, so I'm really happy with that. So I'm just gonna go ahead now and list these blood runes at 228, and then we can move on to the next flip. It had been roughly 20 or 30 minutes now, and I'd been cycling through items, but I noticed the chaos runes dropped right after the blood runes, and this actually happened on the last video as well. So we're gonna go ahead and pick up these chaos runes at 70 coins, and I'm gonna list these guys here at 80, and then we're just gonna wait for these guys all to sell. So you guys probably saw the bowstrings already in the last 2 scenes, but it's time to address the elephant in the room. So these bowstrings usually sell between 79 and 80 coins, but I noticed a small decrease in the buy price, so I went for it, and we were able to get them all at 65, and then I went ahead and listed the bowstrings for 80 coins. And I've said it once, but I'll say it again, those green lights after dinner are definitely what I live for. We were able to sell everything, and let's go through the profits now. So for the chaos runes, we were able to make 630k now. This is really just a no-brainer flip, guys. They cost next to nothing to buy, and essentially just a free 200k every time you find the margin. The next flip is these bowstrings, and we were able to make 195k off of those as well. And just look at that incredible ROI of 23% and 15 GP profit over an 80 coin item. And saving the best for last here, guys, we got the blood runes, which have made us a total of 1 mil flat. I don't think I've ever seen that before. I swear to you, there is no paid actor. No paid actor. But for those of you guys just starting off flipping, check out these 3 items here. I mean, none of them cost a lot of money. You could do all 3 of these put together with just a 4 or 5 mil cash stack. And check it out, we were actually able to make like 2 or 3 mil off of these in just a couple of days. I have also created a Discord for flipping with a load of help from my admin, General Kev. So if you need help with flipping or if you want to brag about your best flips, the link to join will be in the description. Alright guys, so moving along here, we found these teak logs and they're currently buying for $260 and selling at $299. So I went ahead and took those. This one is what I like to call an instant flip, as soon as I was buying them, I was selling them and they were insta selling. In a perfect world, every single flip would look like this, where you can instantly buy the item and then instantly sell them, but it is nice to see once in a while. So in just roughly 3 minutes, we were able to make 267k off of these teak logs. Alright, so moving on to the next flip here, guys, we got the anti-venoms. So we were able to buy these guys up at 53.51, which is another huge margin, because if you compare the graph here, you'll see that they have a sell price at 57.94 here, guys, which is roughly 500 GP per item. I also found a dump on the blighted manta rays, and this one was a really good dump. It was 461 to 501, and it was another one of those flips that I just explained earlier, where they were selling just as fast as they were buying, and also what I like to call free GP. We also got these astro runes for 64 coins, and we're gonna go ahead and sell these for 79 coins. And now we wait. Alright guys, so I'm back here and we were able to sell off all of our anti-venoms and our blighted manta rays. The anti-venoms, although we only got 1100 of the 2000, we were still able to pick up 516k. Guys, you gotta try these potions, they're just so great. For the blighted manta rays, keep in mind that this was actually a fast flip, so I was selling them just as fast as I was buying them, but we were able to make 259k, and this was roughly in 2 or 3 minutes. Alright guys, so what is a good video without some risk? So I went and I decided that I was going to start buying some of the bigger items. And even though I know that if I have to hold an item for over 12 hours, my whole flipping series actually comes to a halt because I have no money to buy new products. So I decided to start buying the Aram robe skirt. Now the Aram robe skirt, I'm actually going to full screen it this time. Is going down in price within the last 12 hours. Now I know that I missed a couple of dumps here, you can see on the blue lines. However, I wanted to get them in at roughly 2.071 mil, because as you can see, it's pretty stable over 2.3 mil from the price previously. And that's exactly what I did. I went and risked pretty much my entire bank on Aram's robe skirt just to see how much money I could make off of these, and I wanted to see how fast roughly it would sell and if it was worth it yet on this 25 mil cash stack to start going to the bigger items. Alright guys, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little too antsy. I could not just sit there and watch my entire bank waiting to sell, so I went offline for a little bit and I came back in a few hours to semi good news. I want to say pretty good news. We had sold the first 4 of the Aram's robe skirts, which meant that we had money again, and it only took 1 or 2 hours. Alright guys, so the other 3 robe skirts had sold and we made 599k off of the Aram's robe skirts in roughly 2 hours. So the question is, was it worth it? Now, I get this question a lot in Discord as well, like when can I start flipping bigger? And the answer is we had to use our entire cash stack of 22 mil, or I think it was 24 mil, in order to buy these Aram robe skirts, and they got us 600k. But going back to earlier in this video, we were actually able to make 5 times that amount with only 4 mil of our 24 mil spent. So the answer, while a little bit subjective, is if you are doing more AFK flips where you're just gonna set your price, leave for 4 hours and come back, then I think it'd be okay to do these 1 to 5 mil flips on a 25 mil cash stack. However, I think until you reach about 80 to 100 mil, where that money doesn't really hurt you and you could just do the buy and sell offers and still flip on the side, I think until at least 80 mil, it's better to stick with these smaller buys. I also forgot to mention previously, because of the Aram hype, but we're able to sell off those astral runes at 73 coins, making another 135k on top. Oh look, it's another potion. Wow. So we got these ancient brews here at 34.64, and we're gonna sell them back at 39.58. Now these ones were a pretty common one. I did this a lot in my other series, but basically these ancient brews actually retain a price of 3,900 or higher. So when you see those dips, you can go ahead and buy them and confidently sell these back. And it didn't take long, just about 20 minutes, and those ancient brews were sold. We sold them off at 39.58, making a total now of 925k off of those ancient brews. And we have now made 15.6 mil, and we have a healthy cash stack of 25 mil. It looks so much nicer than that 10 mil. Alright guys, so the first thing I did was log in, and I started to make some offers here. Immediately when I got on, the chaos runes were already taking a downswing again, so I went ahead and bought these. This is the third time that I've done these now, and it looks like we will be making around 1 mil total now on those. I also had a look at the friar remains, whatever that is, and saw a significantly large spread between the buy and the sell price, so I listed for a bunch of those as well. Since the chaos runes were already bought, and by the way they only took 3.5 minutes, we could now go ahead and sell these chaos runes for 79 coins. And after about 10 minutes, we were able to make another 198k on those chaos runes, bringing us to about 950k profit for them. So I actually had a look at these Virtus masks, and I noticed that it was on a huge downswing. It wasn't a dump because the buy price, the blue line, was the one that you buy at, and the sell price is still very high. However, I thought I could maybe grab a couple of these at this price and make some quick money. So when you're actively flipping, you want to be cycling your offers between 15 and 20 minutes. So if we look at these Virtus masks, for example, there are no longer any buys, and it's been over 15 minutes, so it's time to sell this item. And we were able to sell the Virtus masks off here in roughly 19 minutes, making a total of 392k for this one, and that's pretty damn awesome for just one item. I want you to keep an eye on these friar remains throughout this video because they start to really get at me. I'm selling like 2 per hour, and I'm really just debating whether I should get rid of them. Alright guys, so moving on here, we actually found a couple of new flips. So we got the Ring of Duelings. Now these guys were on a dump, so I went ahead and I listed my price here at 631 coins. But as soon as I saw the offers for the Drake Bones, I quickly aborted that, and I went and I sold them off because we were about to invest our entire bank. So I'm gonna full screen this one for you guys so you can see exactly what I mean, but check this out. So the price is stable at 42.87 here pretty much all day until about 2 hours ago, where the price goes all the way down to 36.77, making us 400 GP per Drake Bone. And what's even crazier than this is I was putting in offers and they were just insta buying, so there was just so many Drake Bones there for us to grab that this one was probably going to end up in our top 3 flips. Just look at those beautiful green lines, man. We got so many Drake Bones, and I've literally put all of my money into this, all 26 mil, aside from 452k. Guys, you better be ready for these results. Check this out. So we were able to sell off the Drake Bones here, and it was actually an insta sell, believe it or not, because when I came back from dinner, the price had already stabilized back to normal. So for the Drake Bones, we made 2.89 mil, which I think is now in our top 3, if not top 2 best flips, also bringing our total profits to just under 20 mil. On a side note here, we were also able to make 148k on those Ring of Duelings, but had we had more money, we would have been able to make even more on that. For the 5th time, I also noticed a Chaos Rune dump again, so I went ahead and bought those at 63 coins as well. And guys, Easy peasy lemon squeezy. We have now officially made over 1 mil on Chaos Runes, and this is actually a free-to-play item. Not only this, it is an item that costs less than 1 mil to buy a full buy limit of these guys. So stop going and collecting cowhide and start flipping today. Speaking of free-to-play items, check out these iron ores, by the way. We caught these guys at a massive dump at 160 coins, and we're going to sell them off now and already have sold half off at 220 coins. And once they all sold, guys, we made another total of 1 mil profit on our second F2P item. And if you notice, it's real similar to the Chaos Runes as well. We just keep buying them on dumps and then selling them at regular price. We just recently started a Discord community for flipping, with flipping tournaments hosted by Generic Kev. The last prize pool was 60 mil, so if this is something that interests you, the link will be in the description. So moving on to the next set of flips here, we got our Topaz amulets. Now I have done this one before, but I noticed another quick dump on those, so we put in our ridiculously low offer at 21.29. And because I was about to go AFK, I found a price decrease on the Amulet of Torture, as it was on a really big downswing, and now we wait. Alright guys, so I am back, and we were able to get both the Topaz amulets and the Amulet of Torture, but what's gonna surprise you the most is the profits of both of these now. So for the Amulet of Torture, we were able to make 424k, and keep in mind guys, this is off one amulet. And where I'm going with this is, as we get later into the series and have more money, we'll be able to do 8 of these every 4 hours instead of just 1. But this Topaz amulet flip here definitely takes the cake, guys. We managed to sell them off at 25.36, and we are now up to a total of 4.33 mil off of the Topaz amulets at a 17.8% ROI. And I must say, our cash stack is looking really good now, guys. We've made almost 10 mil in this video, and we've made it to 34 mil. So the next flip is these monkfish, and I actually forgot to take a video of the standard where I bought them, so I went ahead to the Grand Exchange history so I could show you guys. There is no paid actor. No paid actors. So I listed my monkfish off at 430, which is over 100 GP per monkfish. And I also found a relatively fast flip here as well. The rune javelins were going at 470 coins, and they were selling off at 540. I wanted to take this second here just to brag a little bit. Check out that ROI on our total profits here at 11.36. Green bars, all I see is green bars. You know that it's great bars. If you want to support me as a rapper, no, just kidding. But we were able to sell everything here again, guys. I'm actually not sure how long this took, as I did go AFK for a few hours. But let's start getting going with the profits here. And as you can see, monkfish hit our top 5. We were able to make 1.64 mil on them, selling them at 124 GP each at a 41% margin. I must say, that is very nice. And for the rune javelin heads, we were able to make 650k. Again, another ROI over 13% here, and another 2.4 mil to add to our total profits. Just look at that healthy cash stack of 37 mil. Alright guys, and we move to another F2P item here for the next one, and these will be the gold rings. And as you know, I've done this 3 or 4 times now, but these gold rings are definitely one you're gonna want to take advantage of. If you look at the graph, they're actually stably dropping up and down from 143 all the way up to 172, which is a clean big margin. We were also able to get all 30,000 Revenant Ethers here at 165, and the graph doesn't even reflect that price. The lowest it goes is 166. However, I feel like it was like such a quick dump that I got all 30,000 and it just went straight back up, like maybe I just got one individual person's buy. And we caught another crazy one here, guys. Check this out, monkfish and now raw monkfish, and we bought them and we got extra change too. So I'm gonna go ahead and list these ones as well, and judging by the graph here, I'm just gonna throw them at 266. I kind of want all three of these to just sell super fast. And now we wait. Alright guys, so we're still waiting on our raw monkfish, but everything else has sold. The Revenant Ethers took 17 minutes, and the gold rings took 55. So we were able to sell all of our gold rings to make 556k, and another average ROI well over 10% here. And we can chalk up this win to another successful F2P item. For the Revenant Ethers, we made 331k, which doesn't sound a lot compared to a lot of the other flips in this video. However, it did bring us up to 28 mil total profits. Alright guys, so the first thing that I did was put in a bunch of offers here, and after about half an hour, we were able to make some significant buys. Having a quick look at the Blighted Manta Rays here, there was a significant drop in price. So we bought a bunch of those, and we also bought a bunch of raw lobster. Now this one is a F2P flip, but I want to explain this one for my fellow F2P players. Take a look at this graph here. You can see that it drops to around 70 and even as low as 65 in the last week. Now the average price of these are actually between 85 and 90. So if you could get them at these prices, or you could watch for these drops, this is a really good F2P item. And we also got these mud runes here for 68 coins. As you can see pretty clearly, it's on a downswing right now, so I'm pretty confident that these will rise back up. So I came back in a few hours and everything had sold. We have sold off all of the raw lobsters, all of the Blighted Manta Rays, and whatever we got of the mud runes and the hard leather. And for the mud runes, we were able to make 353k, and that's just over half of the buy limit. So if we were able to get them all, it would have been 550 or 600k. As for the Blighted Manta Rays, we are now at a combined total of 751k, and if you do the math here, we have roughly 1.7 times them at 751k, so we made around 500k off of those. And for my fellow F2P players, we were able to make 391k off of these raw lobsters, making this a pretty crazy flip for F2P. Just make sure to watch out for when lobsters go below 70 coins, and you're guaranteed to make a wad of cash. And I'm sad to say it guys, but we made our first mistake. The hard leather just wouldn't sell. It took forever and ever and ever, so I ended up just dumping these, and we lost 5.9k on those. But once we sold everything, we can now look at our beautiful cash stack of 39 mil. Alright guys, so let's take a look at the next set of items here. Now we got these sharks, and they actually were a dump as well. They were buying at 1,165 coins, and these were actually a quick dump, so I was able to catch all 10,000 of them in 1 minute. So moving on to the cannonballs now, this is a special one because I noticed that I can continuously buy these cannonballs here at 166 coins, and what's even crazier than this is there's not many drops to indicate showing this. Like when I bought them for 166, the graph here it didn't even reflect that, but I've actually done this flip now 4 or 5 times, so you're gonna have to take my word for this one. So yeah, just list at 166 and get free GP. So while I was waiting for everything to sell, I was just graph surfing, and I came across these red dragon D-hides, and these guys were another dump. It's like 3 dumps in a row now, but I insta bought half of them at 758, and noticing I wasn't buying the rest, I upped my price to 1778 to secure a full buy limit. But before we move on, I just want to quickly explain dumps for you guys and what I do and my methods in order to get the most items when these prices decline. So as you can see here, this dump actually started at around 1670. Now doing the math here, that would be roughly 350 coins profit per item before GE tags. So knowing we're not the only flipper online in the world right now, we could comfortably list the offer at about 50 to 60 GP over the price, still making a reasonable profit. GE Tracker also tracks prices every 5 minutes. So you're going to want to sit on this page here during dumps and actively check the price to make sure it's not rising above your offers. Another important factor to look at when doing dumps is also the volume per 24 hours. So in this case, it would be 922k or roughly 38k per hour, which means if you haven't bought any of these guys within 2 to 3 minutes, because of this information being 38k sell an hour, you know that you have to raise your price higher because somebody outbid your bid. If you still need help with dumps or just flipping in general, we actually have a Discord channel, and I'm not going to talk too much about this, but real quick, the link will be in the description. Now that we've taken care of that, let's get back to some more crazy news. We came back to the GE and everything had sold. We had sold off our sharks, cannonballs, and red dragon hides. Alright, so to start here, we got our cannonballs, and we were able to make 231k profit. Now keep this in mind, guys. Make sure that if you don't have any flips going on, that you're listing these for 166 or 167 coins, because they do buy and you will make a ton of passive income. For the red dragon hides, we made 1.4 mil off of this flip. This is one of the best flips that I think I've done in a while, and it's all because we took advantage of the dumps and the information earlier in this video. So make sure you guys have a second read at that if you haven't already, so you can capitalize on these dumps. And for the sharks, we were able to make 731k on these guys. Another crazy one. I mean, anything over 2 or 300k is definitely a win. This took me an estimate of around 45 minutes, and we've just made 3 mil. And we're nowhere close to being done yet. Alright guys, so remember what I just told you guys about the cannonballs? Well, it had been 4 hours, and I just went ahead and I bought them and I sold them again. And this actually took maybe 20 minutes, bringing us up to 484k now with these cannonballs. And as you can see here in the bottom right, it did in fact buy for 166 yet again. So this is a perfect active flip, or daily flip rather, for new or beginner flippers to try and make some free GP. Alright guys, so here's the next set of offers that we have, and I'm happy to announce that there's actually 2 more F2P items within this mix. So first things first, we got more raw lobsters. Yeah, that's right. So they're down again at 73 coins, and this is what I was saying earlier. There's a lot of times throughout the day that these lobsters will tank down between 75 and 65 coins, making this an easy one for F2P players. We also got these gold rings by accident here. I meant to actually put 118, but I guess when the dump happened, I was able to stack up on 18,000 rings at 112 instead. You can see on the graph here again for the second time now, the graph doesn't even reflect this, but like I don't even know how to explain it. Sometimes I guess the graph doesn't register that price. If it's not there for 5 minutes, that would be my estimate for this case. And bada boom, bada bing, everything has sold again. We've sold all of our gold rings, all of our raw lobsters, and all of our Torag plate bodies, which I'll explain in a second here. So we only managed to get 1 Torag plate leg at 86k, so I decided not even to do anything but just include it here for validity. For the lobsters here, we were able to make it now up to 504k, and I actually wasn't able to get the full buy limit, but still really nice for a free-to-play item. And for the gold rings, we were able to make a total now of 968k, and keep in mind these are items that are so cheap that anybody with even 2 mil can just do these as passive offers. We have now made it up to a 42 mil cash stack, and we are almost to 50 mil. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and goodbye.